Good evening. Welcome, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to tonight's wonderful night here tonight. We got a lot planned. It's going to be an amazing show. Hello, Angela. How are you doing?
Doing wonderful. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. Looking forward to tonight. It's going to be great. And looking forward to my show after this, the Fright Files, episode 4. Probably the most fantastic and spookiest episodes I've had so far, I should say. And we got some great people in the chat room here tonight. And some great questions already coming through.
Yeah, we have Crafty. We have
Hello, everybody.
yes, we
Hello,
have
everybody.
some Mystic Calig. 5B is a question. Okay, and then there is another question. Ashif Hahif, I think is how you say it, had a question
Yes.
as well. Well, first I want to welcome everybody to the show this evening.
Welcome, and I hope everybody's having an amazing holiday week. I know Christmas is just around the corner. We got Christmas Eve just the day after tomorrow. So, and you want to answer some questions to start us off with?
Absolutely. I'll go ahead and address the question first, and we can go into
Yeah, because we got a surprise for everybody tonight. We're going to be remote viewing Three Eye
right, we can go
Atlas.
ahead and answer some.
Yeah, let's answer some questions.
Absolutely, we can start some questions right off the bat, some discussions, because we were talking about Christmas Carol. Okay. So first one out from let's Mystic, say Mystic LGY5E. Hi, what does my crush feel for me? Let's see what the runes have to say on that. Okay, so her rune, the first one I got is Bayu. So Bayu is the rune of money, also a rune of prosperity. In addition, as a successful, her crush is somebody that's successful, that's well established. The next rune I got is Degas. So Degas is the rune of enlightenment. It's also the rune of balance, of light. And from this, I'm told that she sees you. I'm getting the impression it feels more emotional. Like she sees you as kind of a cheerful person, as a person that's more cheerful, that's kind of joyful, that's fun to be around. And the next rune I got is Ingwas. So Ingwas is the rune of protection, stability, prosperity. And she thinks you have your crush thinks that you have a very bright future and that you are a very secure person to be around. And that's how your crush, according to the runes, how your crush feels about you. And
Yeah,
then
I feel like it.
also talks somebody, okay, Ashi Harif said, guy think about the proposals have to say. We're just connecting here. Okay, so let's see what the runes have to say about that proposed arranged marriage, and they haven't responded on what they kind of think about that. So the first rune I got is Othala. And the impression I'm getting is that the there is a woman who is the subject of this proposal, and it feels like her importance comes first. Like she wants to be considered first, and her needs are the most important. I feel like she's a very smart woman. She's very highly intelligent, very sophisticated. And it's like the runes are saying, like, pay attention to her, and she wants to be assured that she's going to be treated with value, that she's going to be well respected for mind and her. I feel like she's very business minded. I feel like she has a really good business sense. And the next rune I got is Kenyas. So Kenyas is the rune of wisdom. And this rune is saying trust your intuition on this. trust your intuition. And I feel like what I'm getting the sense is they're kind of sitting back and kind of considering this, and they're looking at this, and they're kind of going back and forth, but they don't want to give the impression to rush things either. So they're kind of holding back a little bit. The next rune, interestingly enough, this rune comes out, which is the rune of weird. This is, but it represents weird is like the interconnectedness of everything to make a whole. It's also considered like your destiny. They call it weird, and then you have the weird sisters in the opening of Shakespeare, and that actually represents um, symbolically the three women in mythology. One that actually spins the web of destiny or the threads of destiny. One that actually determines what it's going to turn into, and then the last woman who cuts the thread short. Who cuts it determines the length of life. So what I got is this interconnectedness, and what I think the family is considering is the grand scheme of things, the big picture, like what's best for her, what's best in the grand scheme of things, as far as the big picture is concerned. So it looks favorable, but they just have a lot to consider.
Right.
Okay. And Chris, we were going to talk about A Christmas Carol. And hi, Grizzly, how are you doing? And hi, Judy.
Hello, Grizzly. I hope everybody in the chat
a lot
has
to consider there. That's
I hope everybody in the chat is having a fantastic holiday week, and we're going to be talking about Three Eye Atlas tonight as well. And if you have any thoughts or theories on Three Eye Atlas, please put that in the chat. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Is it an ET spacecraft? Is it just a comet? Something else? We want to know what you think. So you tell us, and we're gonna be revealing what it is that we remote viewed, and as to what this Three Eye Atlas is.
Right. So exactly. So Chris and I, we both remote viewed Three Eye Atlas to see, and we're going to come on the show and just compare our findings. So that's what we were talking about last night. And Chris, Ashley, one more question. So Ashley says, do you see a response? When I asked the runes yes or no, this is so Wheelo, so I'm getting a yes, but it's going to be a while yet. It feels like it may be a month or two even before you hear back from them, but the runes say yes. You'll get a response according to this. Okay, so we were talking about Three Eye Atlas, and
and let me go ahead. I'm stepping over you. I'm sorry.
That's all right. So we were talking about Three Eye Atlas, and I thought, what would be a good idea if both of us, since both of us have remote viewing abilities, to remote view Three Eye Atlas and kind of get our impressions and compare those impressions. Did you want to go first, Chris, on the impression that you got?
Sure. First, let me bring everybody up to speed. As you know, Three Eye Atlas has been floating around space now for about a month or two, and so there's been so many different things on social media. People claiming it's spacecraft. People say it's got alien beings on it. People say that it's going to be hitting Earth. There's been so many different things. I mean, the social media is completely blown up about this, and there's been thousands of different spin-offs of what this is. Now, first, let me bring everybody up to speed on what I've learned just before I even remote viewed. Okay, so as you know, I work for MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network, and we have our own team of I don't want to use the term investigators. Well, we do have investigators, but we have our own team of photo analysis group and different people that have also studied the photos and information on Three Eye Atlas. Now, just with our group alone, we did some analysis on some of the photos and stuff. And what we determined is Three Eye Atlas, just what we determined in MUFON before our remote view, this is what we determined. That Three Eye Atlas is simply a comet. It does have an odd trajectory, and it does have a kind of an odd shape and different aspects to it. But upon reviewing the photos and comparing them to standard common comet photos, we determined just and move on that this is just simply a comet, and that was without remote viewing. We just determined it was a comet. But um, despite that, I did some remote viewing because me and Angela both want to see ourselves what we pick up on. And there's been some other people that have also remote viewed this besides me. But let me tell you what I picked up on first, and then I'll add some more to it here in a little bit. So when I remote viewed through iAtlas, this is what I got on my 8 sheets of remote viewing. Actually, it was 10 sheets, but who's counting? But because when I do remote viewing, what I do is I get into a quiet position. I sit down. I usually keep the door shut, keep all the noise and everything blocked away. Then I start remote viewing, and when I remote view, I will sometimes I can go for hours just on one thing alone. And I did about 10 sheets of remote viewing on through iAtlas, picking up on anything I could get. So here we go. The first thing I got was that this does have an odd trajectory. My first page, what we call the non-dominant hand sketch, shows through iAtlas going in obsolete, just kind of weird pathways. And it was, and I even picked up on the fact that it is of course going. It's going to be moving away from Earth. Right after last night was supposed to be the closest night to see it. Now it's going to be going away from Earth, but it is going in an odd trajectory. I picked up on no occupants in this. However, I got no occupants, meaning I got no life source, no feelings from anybody inside, no words. But I did, however, pick up on that this does have a its own type of conscience. Throughout it says it has its own type of conscience. I didn't pick up on any words or life force, but it does have its own conscience. And I don't know where it got the conscience at. It could have just been I was picking up on energy from things it's picked up on from space, but it does have some sort of a energeticness to it. It is alive in certain ways, but it has no life force. There's no beings on it. I didn't pick up on any spacecrafts or anybody inside of it. I picked up on just the fact that it is moving in an odd trajectory, that it is moving away from Earth, and it does have some sort of a conscience, or it could be energy. And I'll go into a little bit deeper. I'll let Angela go talk for a little bit, then I'll reveal some more. So what are you getting so far, Angela? Or what did you get, I should say?
Sure. So the impression I was getting of one thing, I felt that there was no living occupants. I felt that this was a natural, it was a natural structure, but an advanced civilization is co-opted it. So they dug into it, tunneled into it, and build um, like a machine inside of it, like a computer inside of it, that is fully operational and is self-aware enough to self-correct and to understand mission parameters. And it's a probe essentially, but it's the way that they've used this object, a space, this natural object in space, because of the nature of the composite of this object, like a comet. It's essentially using it for some of its fuel source. It's using the natural materials of this comet or meteor for its fuel, for part of its fuel for its long-term trajectory. Okay? But this is machine consciousness. It is not organic consciousness.
That's the reason why I'm
And
picking up on. That would be the reason why I'm picking up on conscience, but also electronic as well, because it's machine related, like you're
yeah,
talking about. That makes
the
sense.
machine and the beings that built this machine were already well past our level of advancements before we even existed. So it's extremely ancient. It has a very ancient origin. So it's on this long-term mission. It feels exploratory in nature, and I feel like one of the exploration that it does is looking for different types of exotic elements. So fuel source, um, for industry, for things like that. But the civilization that built it is so much older than us, so much more advanced than us, way past our time, even before. Imagine it's like they're billions of years ahead of us. You know, billions of years before we existed, this civilization existed. It's just unfathomably ancient. It's hard to put that in perspective, but it does make sense when you think about the vastness of space. And these beings, you know, they're closer to the origins and, you know, and history to the beginning of the universe than we are. So we're like young, very young compared to the civilization that built it. And this is one of the brilliance of this species way of co-opting a, you know, a meteor in space or a comet in space and using it as a probe. It has its own fuel source essentially, and it can disguise itself. That way, it's not going to be seen as a threat. It's going to look kind of natural. It's not going to be seen as something threatening, something that's coming as an invasion force or anything that you would see in a ship. It's just inside of this. And and its information gathering doesn't seem very interested in us. It seems more interested in processes and chemical processes and things like that and fuel source. Like we're of no interest to it. It's more interested in exotic materials that would
Right.
make great conductors or great fuel source or great new chemicals, you know, medicine, something like that. And it seems like it's a keen interest. I know they said it has a keen interest in Jupiter, and Jupiter is a very volatile environment, and it has an incredibly strange atmosphere. And
I'm glad
it
you
would not be surprised interested in some of the chemical compounds that are in Jupiter.
right. And so some of the other things I was getting was because I'm glad you said some of the things you said because that kind of ties what I was getting together. I was picking up on the fact that it's I almost want to use the term kind of the way you put it. It's searching the galaxy. It's got a like a it's searching the galaxy. I don't can't think of the word I'm looking for, but uh, like a mission of some sort. But it's searching, and I don't know what it's looking for. But you said Jupiter, and I did during my remote viewing, I did get the word planet, but I couldn't pick up on exactly what planet. And my best friend Rachel here, she thinks that it's scanning the galaxies as well, and she thinks that maybe it's beaming something down. But like, would you get anything about beaming or like anything of that nature?
Yes, I think it has the ability. I think it has a kind of a defense mechanism so that it can block certain signals if it doesn't want certain things to be detected about it. Because there is a sense, I get the sense from whoever built this that they did not want this to be perceived as a threat. And if you're dealing with other species, right, if they're an interplanetary species, you don't know how another species is going to react to their piece of technology suddenly showing up in your solar system out of nowhere. They don't want people to feel defensive. They want to remind people, hey, this is a peaceful mission. It's peaceful exploration. It's not a defensive action. It's not a spy for, you know, for the military purpose. It's exploration. And what I keep getting over and over again is more industrial. It's more technologically related. Like they're looking for, just like we would look for exotic materials in other planets to build better batteries or even to supply better medicines and to have, a better quality of everything. This is what I feel like this thing is on its primary mission, is to look for exotic chemical compounds and things like that that's beneficial for a more advanced civilization and an advanced level of development. So it's almost as if it's like exploring geology, sort of like us would be when we send out geologists to look for signs of silver. You would send a geologist to go look for those things. Well, they're looking in deep space, so they're sending something that's artificially intelligent tunneled inside of a comet or meteor, so that way it has a supply of fuel wherever it goes,
Right.
and that is sentient enough on a technological level that it can self-correct its mission, keep with its mission priorities. Instead of drift off or loses contact, it can plan and strategize for get to a way back. So that's the impression that I was getting.
Okay, and yeah, you weren't picking up on any life force and
Any other
any.
impressions on that? Were you getting something similar that it was like
Yeah, I was getting similar things to
I'm
what you
not
were.
getting life force. I'm getting consciousness, like
That's what I
awareness,
had.
but
Conscious.
it feels like artificial. It feels like artificial intelligence of some kind.
Yeah, because
That's way more advanced than ours.
my best friend Rachel says
Okay.
she was seeing
And
beings,
looks like
but
Natalie's wanting a reading.
yeah, we can do a reading for Natalie. Um, let's see, what's her name? Natalie.
Yeah, we can do a reading for Natalie, and then we'll move on to other top. But I thought that Five Eye Atlas was, yeah, Natalie Rush, and
Let me find her
she wants
question
a
here.
reading. So I'll go ahead and do a reading, Natalie. Yeah, she didn't have a question. She just said, "Can I please have a reading?" So usually she asks for a general reading. So I'll go ahead
Okay.
and do that for her, and then we can read Marissa Marissa Tyne. Yeah, it seems like I'm losing internet every periodically. So Maria didn't block your questions at all. Okay,
No, we'll
let's
get to all
read
your questions.
Natalie first. So
Most of your
Natalie,
questions we'll get to.
right. And Marie, did you still have questions before I read Natalie? And let me go back and her. She said, "Oh, can you do a reading for her?" So I'll do. Yeah, we'll do a reading for Maria. Is it Maria? Yeah, Maria Valentine. Okay. Yeah. How will my operation go? We need to remove a cyst from. Okay. Let's take a look. Let's see how will your operation go. Let's see what the runes will have to say about that. So the first rune I got here is Helgelas. So Helgelas is a rune of transformation, but it can also be interference and things like that. Um, what I'm feeling that there is it feels like discomfort. It feels like there's going to be a little bit longer recovery time than normal. And the next rune I got is Degas. So Degas is clarity. So this rune is telling me that it's going to go very well as far as this actual surgery itself. And the next rune I got is Burkana, which is healing. And actually got this the right way up. The camera flips it around, but Burkana, which is healing, protection. So it's the surgery itself is going to go well. It just the runes are indicating it's just going to be a little longer recovery time than you expected. So other than that, so you just might want to prepare for a longer recovery. The runes indicate the surgery is going to go very well. According to just, it's going to be a little while longer than you expected as far as recovery. It's probably going to be more difficult after you get the surgery than you expect. So it's be
Yeah, you're in our
okay.
thoughts, Maria.
And I
You're in
think
our thoughts.
Natalie's feed kept cutting in and out.
Yeah, your internet is cutting in and out, but Maria, you're in our thoughts. We'll keep sending you good vibrations your way for a fast healing and fast operation. And Maria wants.
Okay, and I think Natalie was next.
Hello, Jeffrey. Nice to see you here on the show. Nice to see you in the chat. And Crafty says, AI don't want you talking tonight. That could be once we get talking about 3 It's happened to me before. Let's see here. So yeah, I really think that 3 Atlas is not. I don't think it's a spacecraft headed towards Earth or anything. I think it is. It is basically just simply a conscience, a craft with does have energy to it, and I think that it could be aliens or beings, I should say, could be using it like Angela was talking about. But who's to say for sure? If I find any more information on 3 Atlas, we'll be happy to share it next week on the show. I keep doing my research, so. And Maria has a question.
And I
Yeah,
think Natalie. Okay, and Natalie, and then I think Natalie was next. I think.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. If you can find Natalie, I don't
Okay,
see her.
Marie. Also, how long do you think the recovery? Okay, I apologize. I'm gonna talk over you. But and you said you posed the question. How long do you feel the recovery will take? It just is longer than normal. So I just think it's going to be worse than you expect when you wake up. But it's a little bit longer than normal, and it could be a couple of weeks longer. Not too bad. Just a little bit more than you expected. Okay, and
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
I was going to say with doing remote viewing in my head real quick, I'm seeing the recovery time being close to maybe a month and maybe a month to a month and a half, but I think it'll go by quickly, quicker than you think. No, not more than 3 months. I'm saying like maybe let's see, about 6 to 7 weeks, and I think you should be in the clear.
Right, just a little bit longer than expected. That's all. Not a big deal overall. And then I think Natalie was next.
Yeah, I can't see her question. Let me see.
It says, hello, if I made it on time, can I pretty please have a reading?
Sure.
Okay, absolutely. Okay, Natalie. And the first rune I got here is Helgalas again, so the rune of disruption, but also transformation. But I feel transformation, but it feels um, dramatic. It feels really dramatic. It feels like a lot's coming at you at once, and it's for your benefit, is to make that transformation happen. So I feel like your guides are reaching out to you through the events in your life, and they're trying to transform you in a more positive direction. And I keep hearing saying, trust us. We know that this will be better for you, is what I keep hearing. And you're resisting that because it seems kind of scary. But they are working for your best interest, is what they're assuring me. And then the next rune I got here, I got Kenya's. So Kenya's is the rune of wisdom and intuition. So I got here, trust your guides. Trust your guides is what I'm hearing from this. And then next rune I got is Isa. So Isa is patience. Okay,
Right.
delay and like you need to have patience. I apologize, I coughed earlier, but you will need patience to get through this, and trust that your guides know what they're talking about. Now I had to trust my guides. It took me a while to understand spirit guides. They were always there and working for me, but but I didn't know the term spirit guides, and they would show me things, and I wouldn't realize it was my guides. I just know there was like a group of people, like the same group of people would show up in my dreams, and they would talk about my future to me, and and they would talk. They would kind of give me little hints of things. So a long time ago, I was at a job that I really liked, but they were talking to each other in a dream, and they were saying, "Well, if we make this happen for her, it's going to be a little bit stressful, but she's going to be better off in the long run. So let's go ahead and move forward with this." And I just trusted them. They knew what we were talking about, and they kind of helped push me out of the job into another job. And this other job, yes, it was stressful, but I gained so much from it that when I left that stressful job, I had so many new skills and so much more to offer an employer than I would have if I just stayed where I was. I would not have learned anything staying where I was. Sometimes it's scary, and you just have to trust that they know what's going on. And and then we have Lori. Looks like Lori BBS 2379. I have a feeling today that I know we talk. I have a feeling strange today, and that signals to me some sort of life event. Can you expand? Okay. All right. Let's see what the runes have to say about that. So the first rune that I got, this is Uruz. So Uruz is the rune of strength, and this is supposed to represent iron. And there, I do feel a life event, but it requires strength. It requires fortitude. And the next rune I have here is Helgelas. So Helgelas transformation. What I feel like that this event it feels health related because for some reason I see a hospital bed. I see a hospital bed. I see somebody in a hospital bed. But it feels like it passes relatively quickly. It happens. Someone's in the hospital, scare, but it's something that has to be dealt with. And if this hadn't been dealt with now, if it wasn't for the event, they wouldn't have found the issue that is kind of underneath it. The kind of thing that I'm feel like is something happens. It feels like it's health related, and then you go in and they find something much worse that they had to address and get taken care of if you didn't have this other event. Then they get it taken care of and it's out of the way and you're in the hospital and it's like, woo, that was scary. But it does require a fortitude to get through. And the next rune I got here is Kenya. So Kenya's is the rune of wisdom. And when I'm getting trust, like this is meant to be. They're trying to head off, they're creating a health crisis, but if you hadn't gone through this and have gone through this health crisis, or this person has gone through a health crisis, it would have been a lot worse down the road had it been allowed to go on further. So some things have to be caught early, and if you don't catch it early, and if it sometimes it takes a crisis for them to catch it, and otherwise it would be much worse. So it's something that feels necessary, but it is a life prevent that you're being prepared for. So it will require fortitude. You just have to take a deep breath, a lot of prayer, and have faith. And the runes are indicating that this will be something that you'll get through, but it's going to take some fortitude. And I feel like it's like a group effort of fortitude.
Right, and I want to say hi again to all the new people in the chat. And if anybody has any snow on the ground, let us know. We here in where I live here in Illinois, we have no snow, but not this week. But if anybody has any snow coming down, let us know. We want to see who's got the biggest snowfall. And we got one more question from Maria. She wants to know, when will I get a new VA job?
Or a new VA job. Okay, let's take a look here. See what the runes have to say. Okay, so I have Wunyo, but I drew Runyo upside down because I feel like you're very anxious. You got a lot of anxiousness going on, a lot of pressure going on. You put a lot of pressure on yourself, and you feel like you're trying to rush yourself to the next goal, next thing, next thing. Runes indicating, though, try to let go of that. So kind of let things unfold the way that they're meant to unfold. The next rune I got is, this is Kenya. So this is a rune of light. This is a rune of searching. And the impression I'm getting from the rune is like take a deep breath and clear yourself and relax and just take your time. It feels like the runes are saying you need to relax on this. It'll come, it'll be there. Just be patient. Just be patient. And you'll see it. You'll see the opportunity coming, and you'll see it coming from a far way off. You'll get it. You know when it will come up for you. And then I see Othala. So Othala is kind of the rune of royalty, family, DNA, but it's also honor. And to me, it feels like a year's time passes before this comes up. And but it's the honor, it's how you hold yourself in your current position, doing what you do and doing it well. That honor carries you on to the other job that you want to go to.
Right, I agree with you on that. And please be patient because you might miss on some great opportunities along the way while you're looking for this other job and things are happening. Because sometimes we find more things to be pleasant about and be happy about that we didn't see coming that pop up along the way to where we need to be.
Right. Right, exactly.
And Judy says, Christopher,
Yeah.
I also live in Illinois. Warm Christmas this year. I don't mind warm weather.
Now we've in Ohio, we probably had our snow, we had 8 inches here. Probably around 8 inches, I would say, because we had a real heavy snowfall and we had blowing snow. It was quite a dramatic snowstorm that came in, and we had ice, and it was rough traveling. So we just stayed at home. And after that passed, it warmed up again, and we'll probably get another snowstorm before too long.
All right, Kathy says she would like a reading. Kathy 4320. Please a reading if time allows.
Okay, sure, Kathy. And we were talking to, and I was mentioning to Chris that, and in fact, I did a little video on my channel how much like A Christmas Carol is kind of a good example to use. I mean, even though it's fiction, it is like how spirit guides work. Right? I love that Charles Dickens got inspired by. I would think he got inspired by the traditions, like the pagan and traditions of
Yep,
spirit
that's
communication,
true.
and how the spirits were reaching out to him, and they were reaching out to him not to scare him, but to try to get him on the right path. And it was his business partner, right, who was his head spirit guide, who was bringing in all these other spirits to act as his spirit guide to kind of show him, teach him, reveal to him his path where he's going, if he stays in that path, the consequences and the blessings of coming back to the right path. So we do have to trust our spirit guides, and I was just inspired by that. Okay, so Kathy wants a reading. I'm looking at the runes. Kathy A 4320. And what does Spirit have to say? So this is Rytho. Now the camera flips it around, but Rytho kind of looks like an R. And it's supposed to represents Odin's chariot wheel. This is a journey, and this is specifically means a honorable journey, being on the right path.
Right.
And I got that you are very much concerned about that. And you're wondering, and I got a feeling that you're wondering, okay, how about my financial security? I'm kind of worried about being on the right path, but at the same time, I'm kind of worried about my material position. Um, my financial position is there going to be enough? Am I going to be okay? I could feel that from you, but I'm being shown that you're on the right path. So when I see that you're on the right path and you're on the path, the honor, the universe will take care of you and will honor the intentions in your heart, right? You intend to be on the right path. They will honor that. They will take care of you. Universe will take care of you. God will take care of you. The next rune I got is Kenya. So Kenya's is the rune of wisdom. It is also light. And the runes are going to be impressioned, though it's difficult now, but stay to the light, stay to the path, right? Stay to the path of light. Keep going, keep focused on the light, keep focused on the light, even though it may seem difficult now. And the next rune I got is Sowilo. Sowilo is like revelation, it's epiphany, but it's also success. And what I'm getting from the runes is that even though you're experiencing difficulty now, and proving yourself, staying faithful to the light, faithful to the right path, it's going to even financially pay off. I feel like there's a big award awaiting for you for all of this endurance, this adherence to staying true to your true self, to the true path, to the path of light. And it just feels like it's not long in coming. So it feels like good is coming for you, and these difficult times are kind of going to be a memory. You're going to be like, wow, that glad that's over with, and these good times are right here in front of me. So that's what the runes are stepping up for, as far as a message from the spirit world is concerned for you. And also, Michelle Kahn, anything from my Polish family. Hey, Michelle, let's take a look. And the first rune I got from you is Ing. So Ing is family, DNA. So yes, I keep feeling an older woman with you, a grandmotherly spirit guide who was with you in particular. Um, and she is very reserved. It isn't like she's a woman that would be like openly affectionate with people. She's not like a huggy, touchy, come to the door, I'm going to kiss your cheek type of grandmother. She is very reserved in her emotions, but she's very, I would say, very solid in her wisdom. When she talks, she doesn't speak much, but when she does speak, it's important that you pay attention to her because she's always speaking from a place of a great deal of wisdom, and she would like you to pay attention. And she says, she's telling me that she's been around you, that you feel her around you. It's like you feel her behind you at times, and you even try, look around, like who is this person behind me? I feel a presence. This is a grandmotherly figure that is from your family line that's coming to look after you, and she feels like she is there, like that's her purpose, like when life and in her afterlife is to share her wisdom that she has acquired for such a long time. She feels like a family protector. The next rune I got here is this is Thorisos. So Thorisos is caution and protection and also boundaries because it does represent the thorn. We used to plant thorn bushes for boundaries. And she's this elderly woman keeps coming through and saying that there's too many people, like your attention divided across too many people, too much busyness, and she prefers simplicity. She prefers the closeness of a few friends, the closeness of a few family, and not to have so much busyness and connections so much. And that's what she's giving me the impression on. She looks at you and she's like, oh, how can you keep track of all these people that you're in touch with? For her, it seems a little bit much. The next rune I got, this is Yara. So Yara is cycle. It's also family. It's also reward for hard work. It's like harvest. She's saying, okay, they pay attention. She says, never leave the basics. Um, the basics of I have a good home. I have food. I have family, and appreciate the basic things. Appreciate that you have what you have. Appreciate like the flowers, trees, the surroundings. Appreciate what you have now. Be grateful, and always turn yourself to gratitude every day. Be thankful for where you are and what the connections that you have now that you depend on. She's like always be thankful for that. Always keep that alive. And she says that's going to carry you on through. That will help you in hard times. That will help you, she says.
All right, thank you so much. And we have a bonus request, not request, but a bonus reading to do. How about a reading from my best friend Rachel Monahan? Monahan.
Okay, Rachel Monahan. All right. So, Rachel Monahan. See what the runes have to say for her. So, the first rune I got here, this is, I'm surprised this room hasn't come up yet tonight. I'm trying to get it to show. Okay, so this is Ewas. So, this is the rune of travel. And it's also, I feel like rapid travel. Like I feel like fast moving, fast, like fast travel, like fast moving, like always on go, fast. Like I'm not slowing down. I'm always going really fast. And the next rune, and it feels like this is a pace that she's used to. Like this is her pace. Like she's not a slowing down person. Everything has to be done fast. The next rune I got is Yara. So Yara is the rune of reward and harvest, hard work. It also is a cycle, a year. Um, and she's on this cycle like a really fast, like she's on this high energy. It's just going a lot. But there is tremendous reward. I feel like she gets a sense of accomplishment by getting things done so quickly and not pausing to think about them and just doing. It's just like thinking on the fly. It's like her, like then, there, and now. Take care of it, done to the next thing. But there is this harvest. And when I slow down and just touch the runes, it says the runes are saying, think of a long-term future. Just don't think about here and now, fast. Don't be so fast in your life, focusing on things so quickly that you forget to make long-term plans and kind of put those aside. Think long-term as well. Take the time to pause and think about what your long-term goals are. So the next rune I got here, this is I was. So I was is death, regeneration, communication. And I keep seeing a sunset. I keep seeing like relaxing. I'm hearing water. And the impression I'm getting from the room, like someday you're going to be slowing down. You have to make plans for when you slow down, when you're ready to slow down, and where you want to be and what that's going to look like. Because you can't keep up this fast pace forever. Eventually, you're going to retire at some point. So you have to think about, hey, when I do think about those long term plans, where am I going to be when I retire and I no longer have that busyness around me? What is that going to look like? That's the impression I'm getting from the rooms, that the message that they're sending.
All right, I think we got time for maybe one more question from the chat room here, and thank you for doing that reading for Rachel. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Let's see. Chris says, whatever the spirits needs me to know before the end of this year, please and thanks.
Okay. All right, Chris. All right. So down. Let's see what we have here. So the first rune I got here, this is I was. This is death and regeneration, and it's also communication. And this rune is emphasizing communication here. I get the impression communication, like work on your communication, especially with loved ones, especially with those people close to you. Make sure to keep good, open communication. And next rune I got is Burkana. So Burkana is protection. It's also peace. It's prosperity. It's also it tends to be feminine because it does associate with like the feminine side of nature. And the impression is like I'm getting on here, I'm feeling taking a deep breath, like spending more time in nature and just taking a deep breath, focusing on your breath for your health, and just taking that time to just slow down a little bit every day, enjoying nature, and especially I get the impression of focusing on your breathing as well, the supported breathing. And then the next rune is Feyu. So Feyu is the rune of money. It's kind of like disposable income. It represents a cow. We used to have cattle as a form of income. And the impression I'm getting from this one is like I feel like there's a need to pull back a little bit because I feel like you can get overwhelmed easily by too much social activity, too much of kind of going out and kind of like the busyness of the season. Kind of pull back and relax and enjoy your simple things that you like if you want to watch a movie at home or read a book or something like that. But when you have that disposable income, I feel like you're like the type of person that doesn't need to spend a whole lot of money to get enjoyment out of life. There's simple things like drinking tea, reading a book, watching a movie that you like or somebody recommended at home, going for a walk or maybe a short day trip is kind of more conducive to your relaxation and your recovery when you're a little bit stressed, rather than diving into large crowds. Something keep it personal.
All right, thank you very much. And I wanted to say thanks to everybody here tonight who came in and within the chat room with us, and everybody around the world who's watching and does watch this, whether it be replay or the live. I hope everybody has a fantastic, wonderful holidays. I look forward to seeing everybody here next week. I think next week will be the New Year's. Will it, or still be this year?
Yes, it will be very close to New Year's. So yeah, I think it will be close to. Yeah, I think it will be the New Year's, wouldn't it? No, I think we have one more show before New Year's. Let's check the calendar and find out. I'll check the calendar here and find out. And of course, as everybody knows here, probably have seen me a long time. I'm learning German. Chris knows German. I know a little German. So in German, and Merry Christmas is Frohe Weihnachten. So Frohe Weihnachten. It just means Merry Christmas in German. But let's check the calendar. Oh, and Glücklich Neujahr. So Happy New Year in German. Let's take a look here. So our next, we still have one more show, the 29th. And then our first New Year shows will be on the 5th. So Merry Christmas, everybody. Of course, check me out on my Facebook page, Angela Boley Psychic Portrait Artist. You can just type me in Google, and my Facebook page, my website comes up. And I'm working on a painting right now that you can check out and look at. If you want a reading, you just stop, just make a comment. I'll be glad to help you with that, rune readings. And of course, you want to get in touch with me for a spirit portrait or something like that. You can also just leave a comment on my Facebook page, or you can reach out to me on my website or send me an email. Anyway, and of course, Chris is everywhere. Chris has a lot. He's got a show coming up right after this one, and you do a lot of hypnotism. It's really beneficial. He's with MUFON.
Yep.
So please also check out Chris's Facebook page. You have a Facebook page and website, right? As well.
I have a Facebook page, Otherworld Photography and Otherworld Hypnosis. For those who want to schedule a hypnosis appointment, it's very therapeutic, and we put you in charge of the hypnosis session. We're not in charge. We put you, the client, in charge because we want to help you and give you the assistance that you need in a relaxing way. You can also find me on MUFON.com for my UFO work, and SWPIP and Something Wicked Paranormal Investigations is also on Facebook and YouTube. You can watch all of our newer shows coming up, and one of our newest shows we just did, which is a 2-part episode, and look forward. That it's a great episode, and you can even see our past episodes. They're on there for free. So like and subscribe to this Grizzly Station here. And stay tuned. Next is the Fright Files, my new show, episode 4. This will probably be one of the most spookiest and most frightful episodes to date. So stay tuned for that coming up in just a matter of moments.
Great, fantastic. Have a great night, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to everybody. Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.